Hey everyone, and welcome to A to Geeks. I'm Kira, and today we are going to be taking a look at 1917. The film is director Sam Mendes' latest project, and it is a war epic to end all war epics. The story follows two soldiers who are sent on a mission to call off an attack on the Germans that is likely to result in the deaths of thousands of Allied troops. It is a fantastic film and it's certainly got a lot of tongues wagging. It's very heavily embedded in the awards conversation this year, and rightly so. The central roles here went to Dean Charles Chapman and George McKay, who I think it's fair to say are two fairly quickly rising British stars. What I liked about the casting choice with these two is I do think they're relatively unknown, at least I haven't seen them in many things myself. So for me, it was very easy to kind of get behind the characters and see them as their characters, as opposed to, you know, so-and-so playing a soldier. I think they both did a fantastic job of bringing a real human element to their characters. You could kind of see the more psychological battles that was going on within themselves, alongside the battles that they were facing out in the field. I can't think of anybody else who would have fitted what I saw so well. So you may or may not be aware that 1917 was created with the idea in mind that it would look like it was one long continuous shot. This was kind of off the back of Sam Mendes wanting to create a film that was truly immersive for the viewer. Now, I think for anybody who watches a lot of films, when you hear this quite an out there creative decision being made, there is a fear deep down for us that it's going to become a gimmick. An example of where things have fell down, where a one-shot take has been tried before, is episode 6 of Haunted Hill House. Certainly the acting in that episode took more of a backseat due to the camera work becoming more of a priority. That was one of the weaker episodes of the series for me, so there is that fear going into a film like this that is going to be the same thing that happens. I felt like it worked. I really do think it enhanced the experience for the viewer, as opposed to being something that the rest of the film relied on to carry it through and make it a success. It really did help in throwing you right into all of those scenes, especially, you know, anything that was like face-to-face conflict. There was no shying away from it, and especially if you watch it in the cinema, like, you will be flinching because there is just no escape. So 1917 relies a lot on its visuals, and it certainly doesn't let down in that aspect. I think the overall aesthetic of the film is bang on. It's very bleak, but there are also moments of beauty that you get to witness that kind of show that even after all of this war, you know, the bloodshed and the turmoil, there is hope for it as well. And I think that's a really important thing to touch upon, because the film gets very heavy in places. So there are some stunning sequences throughout the film, and one that stands out for me is the flare gun scene. It's been shot at night in what it looks like a ruined churchyard. You can see there's a lot of flashes going off and a lot of flares, and just, you know, the way that obviously that causes all of the shadows to move, and they've partnered it with a beautiful score. It brings up goosebumps, like I can actually feel the hairs prickling up on my arms just while I'm thinking about it and reliving it in my own head. So absolutely, if you see the film for any reason, I think just for that scene alone you should, because I really cannot put into words what it looks like. So I think it's fair to say that Sam Mendes has without a doubt done a fantastic job. It's a real technical achievement, but to achieve in those areas and also follow through on the story, on the acting, and, you know, the way that the entire film hits home. I mean, if you want to flex as a director, do a 2-hour, one-shot war film. Why not? Especially if you're going to do it as well as this, because it is just mind-blowing. After all of this kind of, you know, bowing down to 1917, the question is, should you go and watch it? I can't think of a reason why you shouldn't. I don't believe I've said a bad word about it, and I think I'd really struggle to find any major issues with it if I went back and watched it another 5 or 6 times. It is just a cinematic achievement. I think it's probably going to go on a list of one of the greatest war films ever made. I mean, the only film that I think has come close to this one is Saving Private Ryan for me. I think what really helped it is it really doesn't shy away from brutality. This was something that, you know, you would live in a day in the life of a soldier, essentially. And yeah, I think I've just lost for words. really don't know what more I can say about it that I haven't already said. I think all that's left to say is thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't seen the film yet, make sure you do something about that as soon as you can. And if you have seen it, make sure you drop us a comment below, because it'd be great to hear what you thought. Make sure you hit subscribe and also click the bell so that you get a notification whenever we've got a new video out, because there's a lot of content coming out that I'm sure you do not want to miss. And I think all that's left to say now is, remember, keep it geeky.